All right, what's up guys? Today we are going to do like a little bucket list thing I've been wanting to do for a little while, which is the rear wind deflector on the back of the 4Runner. So there's nothing that really bolts onto this thing like they had in second and third gen, later on trucks and most SUVs. For whatever reason they didn't do in these. Been wanting to do that myself. I had a friend of mine who designed some 3D printed brackets, printed some brackets up, and now we have got the spoiler set up. So stay tuned and I will show you that install.
This is the last footage we shot before leaving the United States, so if it looks like it's from last summer, that's because it is. We've been adjusting to our new life on another continent, which is why you haven't seen many videos lately. Enjoy this last look at the Snale, Knob's 1989 4Runner, because the next video you see will feature our new ride, the Bandito Rojo. Coming soon, so stay tuned.
Alright, so good morning guys, another day, another project. So today is just kind of a little quickie about a little something that I've been kicking around in the back of my head for a while. I saw it done a long time ago, and just kind of, I don't know, it's one of those kind of back burner projects that you just kind of pick up pieces when you can get them. So anyway, when I was back home, I tried to find this piece to do this conversion with, and for whatever reason these parts seem to be, they're just harder to acquire than they should have been, especially back home. So anyway, I guess without further ado, what I'm doing here is I am putting a second gen 4Runner, so a 90 plus 4Runner rear spoiler deflector on the back of the cap here. And part of that, I guess, part of the reasoning for it is just, I guess, kind of some style points, but also, if you're familiar with these rigs at all, they have a really serious problem with what's considered station wagoning. Okay, and what that is when you crack this rear window, it just wants to suck air back through the cab. So that, anyway, that can kind of suck. So part of the deflector is to move air away from sucking into the window, and like I said, just kind of style points. So kind of what ended up going on with these is I was kind of kicking around the idea with these, and there's a couple different styles. So I go a second gen runner, 995, 96 up. And like I said, I just couldn't find any. The one that I ended up wanting, turns out I was able to find through a friend in Idaho, thank you Sam, was the 92 style. And the difference with this style is there's no reveal for the third brake light, right? So we're not doing a third brake light. I just wanted to find that one, and mind you, it's just got like a little thing in it. It wouldn't be a big deal, but if you're going to do a project, it's one of those things where just get the pieces that you want to get. It will make your life easier. It'll make the project go better for you, and in the end, you're not like, God damn it, I should have just waited another day to get the right part. Because normally what happens is you compromise, you get done dealing with the project, you get all the way done, and then you find the part you actually needed. Okay, that's just kind of the way the matrix goes. But so the way this project goes is I couldn't find this at home because I was supposed to get it from my guy Sammy over in Idaho. All right, he had the exact one I needed, and the hardware and stuff. I knew there was always going to be a little bit of an issue with the brackets because obviously the back of the other truck is round and this one's square. So let's look at that real quick. All right, so here's a quick look at the OE bracket that came off of the 90 vehicle. And you can see it's got this radius where it mounts to the back of the truck, right? This mounts to the back of the cab next to the windshield wiper, and then your spoiler mounts on this side. So obviously, this just wouldn't fly. I couldn't really make that bracket work, obviously, with the truck. Anyway, couldn't make that bracket work. So luckily I have a good friend who has recently got into 3D modeling and stuff like that. So like I said, I've been kicking this around in my head for a while, and I was able to get this bracket. The other bracket was broken and it had a piece of hardware stuck. I couldn't get it off the truck, so like I said, I just need one for a core. Anyway, I contacted my friend Eric and gave him my ideas and sent him this bracket so he could get the holes and kind of the size off of it. And we built a fully 3D printed flat bracket for these spoilers. So basically what I'm going to show you today is I'm just going to get this mounted up, and it should be pretty straightforward. So like I've talked about before with these, the 4Runner cab, the back part of this cab, this is a hollow. Okay, so if you don't know, the wiper wires and the wiper hose run up this tube across to your sprayer and stuff, right? So there's where your motor lives and everything. So pretty straightforward. What I'm going to do is, and like was done on the other trucks, these are just riv nutted to the vehicle. So little baggie of 5mm riv nuts, riv nut tool, and then you can see I basically already started layout here. Just kind of wanted to get those in there, and then I can get them mounted up. And so basically I'm to the point now where I'm gonna get this position, get everything, and get the hole started. So here we go with that. All right, so basically what we're gonna do right here is we're just kind of working on getting the layout set up. So you can see I had taped this out already. I'm going to get this position and kind of make an outline of where these brackets should be, and then I'm going to go ahead and start drilling. So pretty easy process actually. So like I said, I had marked this out and set center up already on this, and so I know kind of where I need to lay out to. I just needed an extra hand, so I just used a little piece of tape right there to hold that end up. Then you can see my marks, and then I was able to just put a match mark here on the tape. All right. So I'm gonna just make one hole to begin with, and then that will help me line up the other holes a little better. So we got the first hole drilled, it's ready to go. Rivet nut. Okay, so a little bit of a segue here. Pretty much as per the usual, I managed to get the wrong rivet nut. And what's happening is the rivet nut, when it crimps down, basically I just bought them for too thin of a material. And that one hole on the left is a little bit big, and the rivet wouldn't stick in there. So anyway, I need to buy some different rivet nuts. Apparently some longer ones like I put the side rails on with. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're just gonna segue to that here right now. This is the first rivet nut that I got, and that one is wrong because that is like a sheet metal. That's built to use in something that's like a 1/16 of an inch thick, and I just, like I said, I totally fumbled that and got the wrong part, because the fiberglass isn't a 1/16 of an inch thick. It's more like 4 mils or so, 4 millimeters. So this is the actual rivet nut you need. This is a longer one, and basically this is what it looks like when it folds up. So there's a big flange on both sides to grab that. Ouch. Standing on an anthill there, pretty annoying. Anyway, so this is the rivet nut, and like I said, I pulled this one out so you could see kind of what goes on with it. This is meant to be used in something that was like up to 4.5 millimeters thick, I think, right? You can see how much it crushes down quite a bit. And this is also the same type of rivet nut that I used to put on those rain gutters in the back section, but those ones are a 6, these are a 5, of course. Okay, so with that said, we can start going back in the other direction then. I did work on the layout here a little bit. As I said, I had drilled a couple of these holes already, and it was and I noticed that rivet nut was not right, so I went ahead and stopped. But what that did do is it gave me one good solid spot to start with, and that can allow me to lay out to the other side. I got that rivet nut in there, I hooked the bracket up to it, And then I just swung the wing up and was able to mark the other spot. Now what we're going to do is just lay out the other side basically the same way. I just want to kind of take my time so I don't damage any of these parts. But that's basically kind of, like I said, what the long and short is of here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue laying this stuff out here. There's not really anything like brain surgery about it. I have a drill bit. It's like a 3/16 or something ish, probably a little better than that, but matches up with the holes, so that will allow me to pilot this pretty easily. And yeah, that's basically it. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish piloting these holes out. Fun working on a lifted truck always. Need a ladder. I need a ladder. Okay. Be careful on this side because there are wires for that wire, or for the wiper in here. So you just want to poke through there. Just want a little poke you through there. All right. So then we go up to this bit, which is not quite a 3/8 bit. Not quite. So just to show you what was going on here, because that was terrible footage. Basically, like I said, we just use this guy as a template I got, and we use it as a template for the holes like that. And then we just push the holes through. Then we can install the riv nut like this. So these holes are not quite big enough to open the hole up a little bit more to get it to sit down in there. And then we'll test fit it. Okay, so I basically have these upper two laid out here, and I'm getting ready to crimp those. So I'll crimp these 3 down, and then that will mount the, then I can mount the bracket. Then I can mount the bracket down to it and get the 3rd hole dealt with. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm on now. So riv nuts are pretty handy if you like can't, you know, tap a thread, or you have a damaged thread and it needs to be replaced. You can drill it out and put these in. These are replaceable if the threads get damaged for whatever reason. Relatively easy to drill out and replace. And so far, these riv nuts have been pretty solid. You've seen some of the stuff I've had on the roof rack. It's definitely probably beyond recommended capacity. Alright, so these ones are done. Screw down this other one. Double check my fit. Here's what they look like installed. My bracket with the hardware. Let's see what we got going on here. Awesome. Come on. Okay. Those both fit pretty good, it feels like. All right, I'll have to put the camera down here. See what this test fit up looks like right here, and looks like we got really good reveal there, and equally good reveal over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill that last hole, and then we'll be done. Right. So I'll just show you these rivet nuts again here real quick. This little tool, this is like a manual. There's 8 million different ways to skin a cat, but these are pretty solid in the industry. You just basically screw your anvil out like this. Rivet nut goes on here like this. So you want to get this down here. You want to get the threads basically fully engaged in the end of that, so that way you're not chancing pulling threads out when you do this. Back this up to that nose piece right there, and then you just stick it in the hole and go after it. And I would assume that there is there's different tools, different strokes for different folks that would pull these longer rivet nuts up like with one stroke. Should I pull it up with one stroke? That would be awesome. But anyway, I think this rivet nut tool is like 50, 60, 70 bucks, something like that. And then depending on the anvils that you need, you're paying, I don't know, like $10-ish, 10 bucks a piece-ish, I guess, or so, something like that. And you get these through, I got this anvil through Summit, which drop shipped it from Marson anyway, so. But yeah, I think I bought them on eBay and things like that as well, so. Your mileage may vary. Show you this here real quick. All right, but that's how it goes in. Stick it in the hole like that there, and then it crimps down. But what happens is, see, it pushes the anvil up off there, so you have to like rethread it back down in there a couple times, depending on how long your threads, how long the rivet nut is here. There you go. So it takes about 2 cranks to get these down, I guess. And then you just go ahead and back it off like that. And come on now. All right. Oh, just like that. Okay, so I guess basically all that is left at this point is to go ahead and install it. Rivet nuts all went in good. Brackets and everything look like it's gonna fit good. So basically I have got these dodgy, sketchy ladder ride right here. My friend made these pads that go on here behind these as well. So I'm gonna put these on and get the brackets installed. So last screws here. Brackets went on good, everything lining up right. And I'll show you what we got. Boom. Come on with this. Alright guys, so that's going to about basically wrap this up today. Just like I said, this has kind of been like a bucket list thing I want to do for a little while, get that wing on there. And I don't know, it's probably mostly aesthetics. Because honestly, my 3rd gen had the spoiler in it, used to station wagon as well. But anyway, like I said, with everything else, hopefully you learned something, you can take something away from this and do it on your own truck. If you're interested in a set of these brackets, DM me, because they will be available for sale if you'd like. Yeah, other than that, I really appreciate you watching, so please subscribe, like, share, all that other stuff. Peace. Thank you.
It's all gone. And so are we.